Hey everybody, I know it's going to take a second here. I'm just going to copy and paste this link, but I had to make it live in order for Patreon to accept the post. And then it will say it's my live hangout, and then I'll put in the title. So just give me 1 second. Patreon live stream Q&A. So excited. Get ready. Here we go. Okay, to all of my patrons, post now. Let's see how we're doing. And there are, okay, so we got it. It's here. I'm going to activate the chat. And so, hey everyone, ask your questions here. Boom. I don't. Okay, there we go. Yay. And so then if we go into cameraman, sorry guys, it just takes a second. And their audio. Yes. And then I'll mute. Mute. Okay. Yes. Okay, cool. So now we're all good. So you guys are all muted. I know that that sounds terrible to say like, yes, I'm muted. But I've muted you so that you can just do your thing and not be worried that everybody's going to hear you. I'm just making sure that it's still doing that. Mute. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Yay. Look at us being so tech savvy. But in the chat, you can, oh, and I see all of you have joined. It's so cool to see your faces because I see your names, and I send out gifts every month too to many of you. And I'm like, oh, like I remember Rachel. I sent her a gift back in the day, I remember. Yep. So it's cool to see you guys pop up, and then I get to put names, put faces to names, because some of you just have like avatars, and so I get excited. Okay, so we're all in here, and you can ask. I'm actually going to go into my YouTube live hangout as well, because you can, if you can't utilize, I know when I practiced this on Tuesday, some of you had trouble with the chat. I know, look at me, Sarah. She's like, you got much quicker at switching over. I know, I'm getting so smart. I had a list, you guys. No joke. Hit upload, hit. So I prepared. I've actually did this ahead of time. I like pretended to do the hangout without copy and pasting the thing even earlier today. Okay, so I'm going to, if you can ask your questions in the chat, the group chat within Google Hangouts, and you can also, I'm going to go into my YouTube post itself. I gotta pause it because it's gonna start talking. And then you can ask your questions there, I believe. Let me just go into the info here and allow the questions to just come through without being approved. Enable live chat automatically. Yep. Okay. So you should be able to ask your questions, and they should all just come through. I just changed it to all. All of my stuff always has to be approved, as you know, but I changed it for you guys so it'll just come through. And then I'll view on the watch page and pause it again. Okay, and so I'll have both of these up so that if you ask questions, I can toggle between the ones in the group chat here and also the ones on underneath the video itself on YouTube and Patreon. So I'm in it all. And I don't see any comments in Patreon, but know that I'll just put, hey, you can ask your questions here. Okay, cool. So now we're all set up. Look how quick. That was pretty easy. I don't like that it doesn't put a picture. It puts like a weird person shadow, but whatever. We do the best we can. I don't know if it's actually showing on YouTube, Sarah. That was a good question because it's private so that it's posted only to here. So maybe just on Patreon and on Google Hangouts. Sound good? We'll try it, do our questions there. And Patreon, it comes through quickly. Sorry, I'm going to sit on my foot because that feels nice. But Patreon comes through quickly, so does the chat. And I don't know if YouTube, since it is private, if it'll allow us to see the comments. I don't know, because they said that, I got a message the other day, like last week, saying that private videos will no longer allow the chat feature, but I didn't think it was supposed to happen until September. So let's ask our questions in the chat or on Patreon, and let's get crack-a-lackin'. And thank you so much for all of your support. You honestly have no idea. It really has helped me like transition to doing this. I love being on YouTube. I love doing what I do. I love interacting with each of you, and I love my job. And I feel really fortunate to be able to say that because there's been a lot of years where I was really trying to, you know, like being a therapist is hard, and working in hospitals, and like I was working 3 jobs at one time, and it's exhausting sometimes, but being able to talk to all of you all over the world is just, It's great. I love it. Okay, so you guys can see me and hear me. It's funny because it doesn't show any viewers. Isn't that weird? But I know you're there. Let me edit this.
I see like a lot of people put comments in the chat.
Oh, in the group chat, you see it?
Yeah.
Why is it not showing it to me? Yeah, I'm looking. I see Sarah's, but oh, it's not showing chats for me either. Grace just said. I wonder. Let me see. Thanks for letting me know, Rachel. Let's just. I'm going to open it up again. Oh, it seems like there's two separate chats for the video. One pops up under Gmail. Oh. Are you guys able to access the group chat within? Okay, I'm gonna look from the group. Okay, I'm gonna look, you guys, and see what's going on. Okay. Sorry, you guys, that we're having trouble. It doesn't seem to. Does everybody have access to the group chat here? I'm gonna see if it's over in my. Maybe it's in my like live dashboard thing. Let me go to my live streaming. Maybe it's over there. I'm gonna find you. Don't worry. Don't give up hope. No, I don't see any. Okay, there's chats. Got it. Why is, I swear to God that, let's just do Patreon. Does that work? Oh, it says the call is full? Told me the conversation is full. Okay, well you don't have to get into it. I will still see your questions. Does that sound good? You can ask if you're watching. I wonder if you can see it even if. Oh, number of participants. What? Sorry guys, hold on. I wonder if there's something. Now I'm really going to have to. Okay, that's fine. Sean, do you know how to do that?
Do what?
Increase the number of people or not limit it to people?
No. Broadcast alert. I'm in it right now as well on the back end, and I don't know what your
because everybody used to be able to view these, right?
I'm gonna go to unlisted.
Can you still watch? Let me know for those of you. Well, I guess I'm just gonna comment back to you because I'm curious if they can still watch it even if you can't join it, because as long as you can watch it, you can ask your questions because I'm in the questions and I see. So Gwen told me is asking questions. I was told I was not ready for meds. Is that possible? This was said to me on my appointment with my psych. He knew nothing about my history. Oh, the call is full. It's so weird. But anyway, so for medication, I think that I've never heard of people saying that medication shouldn't be. Oh, okay. Sorry. Hold on, guys. I'm just trying to figure this out. Technology can be rough. I know, Connie. It's annoying. I know that Lindsay from Sexplanations, who I love, by the way, if you haven't checked her channel, has done live streams before using Hangouts, and it's streamed on YouTube as well, so people could watch and see questions, but see answers, but not ask questions. Okay. I just wonder if it's because I've made it private, but you should all be able to watch.
So I just made it not private, but
Unlisted?
Unlisted to test that out.
Okay, see if Sean just switched switched what it was underneath it. So see if that, I think I might have fixed it. Let me know. I tried to. I'll just leave a comment for everybody, and then I'll get into some questions. And I'm sorry, you guys. I'll get better at this. I just changed it to unlisted. Did that help? I don't know if they can even hear me on this to even say it. So we shall see. Okay. And I just wanted to be, I guess I could make it, honestly, I could make it live on YouTube for other people to view, but they couldn't ask their questions. Only my Patreon people could. What do we think? I think that's fine. So how about we just make it public? and then I go into my basic info, and
It's weird because that's showing this like old one.
it always does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But if I go into this and I edit, and we just make it public, you guys, and then you are the ones that get your questions answered. So we make it public. Pew! Publish. Pew! I like to make noises when I'm making big changes. Okay, so let's see if that helps, and then everybody let me know. Okay, hopefully that helped. Yep, yes, Rachel, ask your questions. Yep, ask them here. Okay, so Gwen was saying for her medication question, she's on meds book 4, and he kicked me out of his office, and the manager got involved, told me to do therapy first. A lot of psychiatrists do require that you do therapy as well as psychiatry, so you're doing both, because that is the best. It does give the best outcome, so that's definitely something that they may request. I've never heard of anybody kicking you out. They kind of sound like assholes. Just gonna put that out there, because they should still be able to help you and then refer you. And so I think that could definitely be something. Maybe look into getting a referral to someone else. But also, therapy is beneficial with medication. That's the best. So I would look into seeing someone too. Okay. And you can ask your questions. If anybody's wondering, if you're new to this, ask your questions on the Patreon page below the Patreon live stream Q&A, and I will. Yeah, they are assholes. Yeah. Oh, it still keeps saying the call is full. Can you hear me / see me? I wonder. Okay, let's see. Is it working for you guys now? It didn't work. Call is still full. Can you? Oh, no, Michelle, we can't hear you. We don't hear you talking or anything. If you come on, you're muted. So don't worry that you're like we're going to hear your children or people talking with you or anything. Oh, okay. So you guys, you can watch it on YouTube. If it's full, you can hop over to YouTube and watch it because I made it public. And then you can ask your questions. I know it's annoying. You can ask your questions on Patreon. So if you have 2 tabs open, if you're on a desktop or a laptop like me, you can toggle between your tabs. So you can go from the YouTube viewing it like live and then go into Patreon to ask your questions. Okay? Does that sound good? So you can watch it on YouTube and ask your questions here. I'm going to put that in the comments. Check it out on. Sorry guys, we're just learning as we go. Check it on my YouTube channel and ask your questions here. Okay, good thing I type for a living and I can get that out quickly. Okay. Oh, Rachel, you're starting your freshman year at Pepperdine. Oh, I would totally go back and do it again, you guys. No joke. I loved college. Oh, I'm so excited for you. That's awesome. Yay. You have to let me know what dorm you're in. I was a Penn Gilly girl, dorm 3, so that's exciting. Yay. Oh, you're going to be just down the street. Okay. So Nancy said, I have DID and I'm losing more time and finding myself in places that I don't know how I got there. I don't understand why this is happening. Help. It's honestly very common. I'll have a video coming out about DID. I did a video a long time ago about maladaptive daydreaming, and I mislabeled it, where I called it DID, because that's what I had intended to talk about in the video, but this was back in the day when I would just like roll off the cuff about things. I didn't like properly structure my videos. I apologize. And so that one was kind of mislabeled, but I'll have a video coming out about DID, and DID is dissociative identity disorder, when you have like different alters and you can spend time as another alter, like let's say, you know, this is Katie, and then there's another person I play like an alter. Is it not working?
The video is shut off. You can hear your audio, but...
Why is that?
Huh?
I don't understand, you guys. Oh, it says you can watch on YouTube, they're saying.
I'm telling you that the feed has ended. The video, look, if I go to the live feed, right here. Yeah. The video, okay, now it's back. It
okay.
Stopped.
It's back. We're back. But anyways, DID is when you have alters, different forms of yourself, and this usually comes out of a trauma where we kind of split off and we play a different role it's not like the same way that we dissociate to cope. It's out of that same type of coping skill. And so, anyway, that's very common for you to not know where you've been and what you're doing and how you ended up where you got to because you were actually in a different mind or state, I guess. And so I'll have a video coming out about it because talk therapy is actually the best, and it's trauma-based therapy. And the whole goal of it is actually to bring your alters all back. I forget what they call it, but it's like when we all come back together and then you're a whole Katie again, or a whole Rachel again, or a whole Nancy again. And so that's, I would reach out for help as soon as possible. Find a therapist who specializes in trauma work and do that. Okay. I'm having YouTube no video. Okay, Eugene, does it work? Can you see me now and hear me? Okay. So Jennifer is asking, any tips on dealing with your mom's mental and physical illness when I struggle to deal with my own? I want to be there for her, and I feel I can't help as much as I should. In all, oh, they can't see, but I can hear you. Okay. It should come back. Okay, so in all honesty, if we have a family member or a friend or just a loved one in general who's struggling, we have to help ourselves first before we can help them. And I know that I say this a lot, but there's a lot of videos I have where I talk about how important it is to take time for yourself and how important it is for you to care for yourself. It's like I just had somebody leave a comment saying, yes, I love this analogy, because it's like when you're on an airplane, they say, please put your own air mask on first before you help anybody else. And I feel like that really also relates to mental illness and mental health. And we can't help someone else with theirs if we don't help ourselves first. And so I guess my advice to you would be that, okay, all is good now, everybody can see. I think, Jennifer, that I would focus on myself and give, depending on how you feel and how much time you can give to your mom, I would do that, only that amount of time. So, okay, 30 minutes a day of me being there for her, listening to her, helping her with this or that is all I can deal with. So that's what I'm going to do. And so setting up those healthy boundaries around that will really help you do better, and in turn you can probably spend more and more time helping her. But we have to take care of ourselves first in order to do that. Okay, I'm looking. Okay, any more questions? Okay, everything is good. Okay, Grace is saying, I struggle with self-harm and tried seeing a therapist. Oh, my foot is numb now. Tried seeing a therapist but had to stop to avoid my parents finding out. What do I do now? I'm 17. Just out of curiosity, what would happen if your parents found out you were seeing a therapist? I mean, they don't need to know what's really going on, and you could tell them, I've just really been struggling, and so I reached out to see someone because I knew I needed to. I find that parents usually, not 100% of the time, but parents usually respond a lot better than we think they're going to. And so I would give them the benefit of the doubt and try to, you know, get them on board for you being in therapy. I would let them know, you know, I was just having a hard time, and so I was being proactive and I was taking care of myself, and I have a feeling they'll probably be okay with it. So I would either A, figure out how to have a talk with them and ask them for help, or B, talk to your therapist about maybe why you can't involve your parents or why you can't tell them, because they can still see you. Even if you're not 18, they can see you, I think it's over the age of 13 or whatever. As long as you're able to pay for it, there's a reason for not involving your parents, and they'll still hold your confidentiality as long as you talk to them about it. So I'd let your therapist know if you don't want to involve your parents at all. And then if you maybe think maybe you could at least tell your parents, not necessarily involve them in your therapy, but let them know, I would think about trying that. And I have a video about how to tell your parents that you need help, and you could look for that on my YouTube channel. Okay, Eugene says, I read that BPD gets misdiagnosed sometimes. What have you experienced? I'm not sure. It does get misdiagnosed a lot. And I have that video about the difference between BPD and bipolar disorder. That's really important because that's a really common misdiagnosis, and I also feel that CPTSD, which I have a video about that you can watch, and BPD get mixed. And the truth of it is that you need to see a therapist for long enough. And I know that sucks because sometimes we just want a diagnosis and we want to understand what's going on, but a personality disorder, if we truly do have BPD, takes a while to diagnose, because I need to see that it's not episodic. Like bipolar disorder is episodic, right? We have like a week of mania or at least 2 weeks of depression, and it can kind of go up and down. Bipolar is like constant. And so we need to be able to see that. So I need to work with you long enough, like let's say 6 months, to know and see the patterns of what's going on in your life and make sure that it is happening like that. And so those are a lot of the misdiagnoses. So make sure they've seen you long enough, they understand the differences and explain it to you properly, and you feel also that the diagnosis fits. Like that's something too, that when you receive a diagnosis, you as the client should feel like, oh, that makes so much sense. That explains all sorts of shit that's been going on. That's how you should kind of feel, okay? Now, Meg C. asks, what advice would you give to someone starting an IOP program for eating disorders? I'm starting a program in September, and in Carlsbad. You're not far from me. And I'm so nervous. Also, any ideas how to talk to my parents about it? I'm an adult living at home, and I'll be moving there, so I have to tell them. Advice for starting an IOP program, just do your best. Know it's going to be hard, but the people are there to help you. That was part of what I did working at the 2 different eating disorder clinics that I worked at. And so I think that recognizing that it's going to be hard, but it's okay, and it's okay to struggle. Like it's a process, not perfection. So you'll be like, I'm doing good. Oh, I had a really shitty couple days. Oh, I'm doing good. And knowing that recovery is like that, and that's normal. Giving yourself that time, I think, Meg, will really help. And I think that that's something that you have to keep reminding yourself of. As far as your parents, I have a video about that. It's an older one. Let me see if I can find it. I think it's called Telling Your Parents About Your Eating Disorder. But just like anything with mental illness, I would tell them what's going on in the shortest, most succinct fashion. I would tell them what you need from them, and I would reassure them that you're getting help and why. And like, it's kind of like you're selling them on the idea of the IOP by saying, hey, I really needed help, and so this is what I'm doing, and I just need you to support me because I'm really trying here, and I'm really trying to get better. And I find that parents actually do respond really, really well to that. So I hope that helps, Megan. I hope that kind of eases a little of your anxiety. It's going to be hard to talk to them in general and tell them about it, but the fact that you're making a change and you're taking action to better yourself, they'll really get behind that. Okay, let's see more questions. And if you're curious, you can ask your questions on my Patreon page. Ask questions here. Oh, you can do either, Bethany. You can do either. Okay, Siobhan says, what should I do if I can't cope on my own, but I've tried to get help, but there's nothing available? I would honestly, there's a few things. A couple things, there are a lot of online resources. There are, I think it's like Talk Life and Talk Space. One is peer support, one is connecting you with a therapist, and they can be kind of expensive, but they're cheaper than traditional therapy. I would also ask at your local hospitals and treatment centers for just calling them, and I know that gives a lot of people anxiety, but just calling them and asking them for referrals to people who work on a sliding scale. You can often find someone who works at a really low rate. Yeah, of course, Meg, you're welcome. So those are ways to get other resources. Also groups, depending on what you're struggling with, there are also some essentially free groups. Like if you struggle with alcoholism, like AA and stuff like that is available, and also treatment centers offer free or very, very cheap groups that happen once a week. And I know that that's not enough, but that's something. And so those are just some resources that can be available. Also, something that has worked for some of my viewers who they told me about is getting a workbook. So I have some free workbooks available. I have one on self-injury, I have one on eating disorder, and then I have an LGBTQIA+ workbook. So those are the ones that I have, but there are tons that I've recommended over the years, and on my website, if you scroll to the bottom of any page on my website, there'll be a little widget. A widget is just like a little box that hangs out there, and it's my Amazon shop, because I've like put it together for you. So I go in and tell you the ones that I like, and it holds it so that when you click, you see all the stuff that I recommend. And I have a lot of different workbooks in there, and you can purchase some of those for yourself and have a friend that holds you accountable, because you should probably spend 30 minutes a day working on it and working in the workbook. And yeah, it sucks, and we'd love to have all the resources available and be able to see a therapist as many times as we need and be in group and do all this stuff. But if that's not something that is available for you, that's the second best thing. And so I would give that a try and see if that helps. And that's kind of why I'm online in general, is because a lot of people need more help than they have access to. Okay, so Michelle says, how can I cope with self-harm urges at work? Should I ask management to support or keep it private? It's up to you and how your work environment is. My gut is like, don't tell them unless they need to know. But I would definitely look into your distraction tools and your whatever kind of tools that you use to manage the urges. I would make sure that you have some that work at work, that you can do while you're at work, like whether it's on your phone, because a lot of my clients have used their phone, and there are different apps that offer up journaling, or there's the eating disorder, there's Recovery Record, there's SAFE, S-A-F-E, has an app where you can do like impulse logs, and those really help. Everything from Tangle Toys, which I sent out last month, those things, making sure you have tools that work for you while you're at work is really important. And maybe having a friend that you can text or G-chat with quickly when you need a little extra support. I wouldn't let them know unless it's making your job harder, but know that I've heard from a lot of people, that's why I'm like, just be cautious, is that I would look into maybe their EAP program, which is how you get therapy. It's an employee assistance program, before I maybe tell someone, just because I want to protect your privacy and I don't want them to potentially make things harder for you or stress you out. But if you think that they'd be really great and helpful, then I would share that with them. But just be careful. Okay, let's go back. Okay. Okay, Marnie says, can a therapist help you when you don't know how to express yourself, not in words or art? I tried therapy, but my therapist was the only one who talked, and I probably said 3 sentences the whole treatment. I'm afraid to start therapy again with another therapist because the last time it wasn't helpful at all. I have struggled with this off and on with clients over the years. It's very common, and it can be difficult, and it can slow therapy down to a snail's pace, where it's like, oh my goodness, nothing is happening. And I think that you can definitely start therapy, and I think that that could be really helpful. I do think that that's something that I would definitely get into, but I don't know, it's hard, because I know that for some of my clients, when I struggle with this, they can't even tell me they're struggling. It's just silence. And I've had hours upon hours of just silence, which is hard and frustrating for both the therapist and the client. And so I would try proactively some things to maybe help you open up, whether it's, like, I've had clients who do, like you said, art or whatever, but some, blah, 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 blah. For some of my clients, art has been really helpful. For others, they can email me when they're not in session, but they can't talk. It depends on whether it's anxiety-driven or not, I guess. And so they, ooh, we're echoing. Is that gonna mute? Okay. Mute. Okay, somebody came in and I didn't mute for some reason. But art can help for some. Like emailing and logs can help for some. And for some of my clients, even like physical activity. So yoga, going for walks, listening to certain music can help. We can do a lot of different things to kind of jog ourselves out of it so that we feel a little more open, a little more calm, and we're more able to express ourselves. And be patient with yourself. It usually comes out of feeling unsafe, feeling panicky, feeling overwhelmed, and we just shut down. And so I think that by giving yourself the time that you need to open up, you will find things get better. Okay, let's do 2 more questions, you guys, and then I gotta scoot. I gotta get to a lunch meeting. Haley says, my therapist just switched offices and her new chair is so far away from the couch that I sit on. Is it weird to ask her to move closer, or do you think she'd sit on the couch with me? Is that crossing a boundary? No, ask her to move. I have clients who want me farther, closer, whatever. You can ask her to move, ask her to sit on the couch. She'll do any of those things. That's no big deal at all. I would just say next time, ask her. Okay. Let's see. So Katie asks, how do I make sure that I make decisions and choices for the right reasons? In the past, I've made choices for the wrong reasons. They've not gone well. Haven't we all? I have choices and decisions to make, and I'm scared that I'll do it for the wrong reasons like before. I've come so far since February last year. I don't want to go back to that place. I think that, and this is just, I'm guessing what you mean by this. I'm guessing that, oh yeah, of course, Haley. Yeah, it can be really helpful I've sat on the couch with my clients, and my chair isn't even that far. Some of them just want me closer, and that's totally fine. I think that, back to the other question about making decisions for the right reasons, I'm assuming what you mean is like it's either, it's sick related, like it's either eating disorder focused and we're doing it for that reason, or we're doing it to somehow enable our like bad behavior. And I think that we have to have some trusted people that we go to and we talk to about it, because, like, for instance, I'll just give my own personal example. Like, some of my friends, even my mom, I talk to my mom every day. So my mom will tell me sometimes, she'll be like, that's bullshit, Katie. You're doing that because of this, and that's not good. And she'll know it right away. Like, you're just doing that because you feel guilty about blah, blah, blah. Don't do it. And so I think we need to have some trusted people who we can bounce ideas off of, and our choices and decisions that we're making, giving them the information. Like, we have to be open and honest about it. We have to be able to tell them. That's why I say, like, a close, trusted person, like a friend, loved one, whoever. We need to be able to tell them, hey, I've been really sick and this has been really shitty, and I'm just hoping that you can help me make the right decision, because I don't want to go down that path again. And then say, this is what I'm thinking, these are the things that are involved, and this is the decision that I'm contemplating making. What do you think? And only then, I think, once we've gotten feedback, maybe from a couple of people, can we really make the decision. But you have to go into that knowing that you really you have to trust what they're saying, and you have to listen to them. We don't go ask people because, you know, we don't want to listen, and we don't go ask people because we just want to complain and not get their feedback. We have to actually take their feedback into consideration. Okay? Okay, everybody, well, that's all the time I've got, but I will see you all soon. If you like this, let me know in the comments below, because it'll show on Patreon. Let me know if you like the kind of like hangout idea, and I can definitely do these more frequently. Okay? I love you all, and I will see you soon. Bye! It's stopping, and stopping.